Welcome to the class, children. Hope you all are following the different videos what I am posting to you all and try to understand and learn and trying to even complete the given homeworks. So today's topic is a very important concept what a scientist or a science student should develop to improve his or her knowledge. That is nothing but reading to learn. So now we are going to discuss the strategies to be developed or which will help a person to become a good science reader. Okay, so this strategy or the concept of reading to learn includes 3 steps. One is before reading strategies, second one is during reading strategies, and third one is after reading strategies. Okay, so first one is before reading strategies. Suppose you think that you have selected one book to read. So while reading the book, maybe you issued the book from the library, you want to read the book and try to get extra knowledge out of it. But while reading the book, there are few steps what you need to follow before reading it, few steps need to be followed during reading it, and few steps to be followed after reading it. This we are going to discuss in detail. Okay, so what to be done before reading? Before reading the book what you got from library, or if not from your friend, which is very important, and maybe after reading you may get knowledge. So the first thing what you have to do before reading the book is that first you have to know about the vocabulary what is covered in the book what you have selected. Vocabulary means new words. You should know how to pronounce them, you should know the meaning of them, you should know the definition of them, and even you should know how to make use of them in your routine life. Okay, so first thing is you have to go through the vocabulary, right? Pronunciation, meaning and usage. Next, to get the definitions of it and to know many other things what are covered in the book will be definitely present in the glossary of the book. So we have to look up each and every word present in the glossary. So that will help us to give definition of it, and we have to read it, understand it, so that as we go into the book, as we start reading the book, understanding becomes very easy. Next is we have to read the title of the section, or if not the book, we have to understand the title of the book. Let us suppose that the book what we selected here is about ecosystem. So ecosystem is the title of the book. So we should know what is meant by ecosystem before starting reading the book. We should know many other things about ecosystem. We should gain knowledge of it. We should know about the vocabulary what may be covered in the book, its meaning, its usage, its pronunciation, and even their definitions. So did you all understand, children, what to be done before reading a book what we selected? I repeat again, we have to know about the title of the book, we have to know about the vocabulary covered in the book, we have to know the pronunciation of the vocabulary, their meaning, their usage, and even their definitions. So now we are ready to enter into the book, that is to start reading the book. So think that you have started reading the book. So what is the title of the book what we selected? It is nothing but ecosystem. Okay, so think that you started reading the book. So as you are reading the book might be divided into different concepts, okay, or if not different units or different chapters. So after every concept, or if not after every topic or chapter, few questions will be given there at the end of each chapter. Try to answer them after reading the chapter 1, suppose. Okay, so if you are able to answer all the questions given at the end of the chapter 1, it means that you understood the concept given in the chapter 1 what you read. Okay, so suppose if you are not in a condition to answer them, it means that you need to read it once again. Okay, so it's not that you will not be in a condition to answer all the questions. Few you may answer, few you may not be able to answer. So that questions what you are not able to answer, what is the topic related to, that topic once again you have to get back into the chapter 1, or if not at the end of chapter 2 or whatever it is, and read that concept once again and try to answer the questions. So this method of answering the questions what are given at the end of each chapter will help us to understand that topic completely. Okay, suppose you may say that I have selected a book in which there are no questions after every chapter. Then what we have to do? We have to make questions on ourselves. We have to prepare our own questions. So now we are in the concept of during reading. So during reading, after each chapter, if questions are there, we are going to answer the questions. The questions which we could not, we are going to read the topics once again and answer them. If no questions, we have to make our own questionnaire and try to answer them. So what is the use of this answering the questions at the end of each chapter? It will help us to understand the concepts chapter wise. If we are ready with the concepts of chapter 1, it will be easy for us to get into the concepts of chapter 2. If we are ready with the concepts of chapter 2, it will be easy for us to answer the concepts in the chapter 3. So how to assume, or if not prove, that we are ready with the concepts? We will be in a condition to understand that we are ready with the concepts by answering the questions given at the end of each chapter. So we have to check our understanding about what we have read by answering the questions which are given at the end of each chapter. So like this, think that we completed reading the whole book. Okay, after every chapter we are answering the questions given there. If not, we are making our own questions and answering them. So if we are doubtful, we are reading the concept once again, and somehow we are being thorough with the chapters. So we completed reading the book. So now what is the step included? After reading, what to do? So we have to summarize the whole book what we have read. We have to sit and write the summary of the whole book what we have read. So we have to think about what we have already learned about ecosystems, because we selected a book called Ecosystem. Okay, so we have to think about what we have already read about ecosystem. We have to ask ourselves like what is meant by ecosystem, and what are the different components of ecosystem, and what are the different things what we learned in the book. We have to ask ourselves. And while reading the book, if you get any photographs or illustrations, even that you have to study in detail. Like if any pictures or any photographs or illustrations are given chapter wise, topic wise, even that we have to study. We have to read the captions. We have to go through the labelings. We have to think about each and every minute issue discussed in the book. So finally, after completing all the chapters, when we are able to do all this, now we should answer the questions given at the end of the book. The questions given which at the end of the book will include from all the chapters covered in the book. Okay, so sit and try to answer them. If no questions, what you are going to do? Right, we are going to make our own questions basing on the whole book. So we are sitting and trying to answer them. So while answering them, suppose you felt difficult in answering few questions, then what need to be followed? We have to get back into the chapter in which the particular topic is discussed, and we have to read the topic once again and be thorough with that, and come back and answer the questions given, or if not the questions which you could not answer. So this will help you to be thorough with the book. Okay children, so I'll tell you all these three strategies once again. Try to listen carefully. So the first strategy is before reading. So before reading a book what we selected, suppose we selected a book called Ecosystem, we have to know what are the vocabulary covered there. We have to know their meaning, their pronunciation, and definitions of the new words given in the glossaries, and even we should get the knowledge about the title of the book. So that is before reading. So while reading, when we start, during the reading process is going on, when the topic is completed or when the chapter is completed, we should answer the questions given at the end of each chapter. If we are not in a condition to answer few questions, we have to get back into the topic related to that question, read it, understand it, and answer the questions again. So like this we have to end up the chapter. So then chapter 2, then chapter 3. So on we'll complete reading the whole book. So now we completed reading. We are in the strategy of after reading. So after reading we have to write summary of the whole book. Sit and write summary of the whole book. So this will help you to understand whether you understood the concepts given in the book or not. We have to think about the different issues discussed in the book. We have to ask ourselves few questions. We have to study the photographs. We have to study the illustrations. We have to study the captions given in the book. And finally, we should come to a conclusion that we understood the book by answering the questions given at the end. If we are not in a condition to answer few questions, we have to get back into the topics once again. So this will definitely help you to give or to get knowledge out of the book what you are reading. So did you understand, children? What is the process to be followed while reading to learn? Just one reading from first page to last page will not help us to get the knowledge out of the book what we are reading. We have to follow all these what we discussed now. So let us just make a trial of it. Okay. So before going into the trial, let us see what is given under each category. What is the first category? Before reading. So suppose you have selected a storybook. What story choice are in the title and the pictures? Is a story real or make believe? How do I know? If this text is read, what will I learn? Suppose if you read the book what you selected or the storybook, what you are going to get out of it? What will be the main character need or want? Why do I want to read this story? How do I picture the setting? So before reading a storybook or any other kind of book, these are the things what you have to keep in your mind to select a book what you want to read. Okay. So now we are in the second strategy, that is during reading. So we started reading book, storybook what you selected. So what we have to do, what will happen next in the story, we should understand. How do I feel about the main character? Every story will have a main character. So you should have an opinion about the main character, or you have to feel about the main character when you start reading the book. Why does the character act or feel a certain way? So why is the character designed in so and so way? Does the story or text make sense? Excuse me. Does the story or the text what you are reading make any sense? The story what you are reading, does it have any sense? Is there any use of reading the story? What we are going to get out of it? How will the story most likely end? As the story is going on, you have to assume yourself how the story is going to end. And how does the story or the text remind me of my life? Can you correlate the story what you are reading with your life? So these are the different things what you have to guess while the reading of a storybook is going on. So see this now. So how did the story or the text make me to feel? After reading the story, what is your feeling? How did you feel? Okay, you have to experience your feelings. What do I like or dislike about the story? What is that you liked while reading the story, what you selected, or if not, what you did not like? What is the main part of the story or the text? How have my feelings about the character changed? Suppose when you started reading the story, you may have some opinion on the character what you select or what are given in the story. But that opinion what you have may change as you go to the end of the story. So whether your opinion changed or not. If changed, why it is changed? How are the characters' feelings or actions different at the end of the story? What is the author trying to tell me? What is that the author trying to tell you from the story what is narrated, or if not, what you try to get? So did you understand this? Suppose if you select a storybook, these are the different things what you have to do before reading the book, during reading the book, and after reading the book. But what is the book what we selected? So the same thing what we discussed now is given here. Even this you can see. See, before reading, activate prior knowledge. Suppose we selected a book called Ecosystem to read. Okay, we are going to know what is meant by ecosystem. We selected a small book. Just assume that you selected a book in which you are going to get knowledge about ecosystem. So before reading, during reading, after reading, these are the 3 steps need to be followed. I think you understood all the 3 steps. So first you have to activate prior knowledge about ecosystem. What is your previous knowledge? Set the purpose of reading, why you are trying to read the book, what you selected about ecosystem. Now you have to introduce the book. You have to introduce the book to yourself by knowing the vocabulary, glossary, definitions and all, and do a picture work. Just try to turn the pages of the book and go through the pictures given in the book and make connections. With the pictures you try to hypothesis, assume what is going to be covered in the book. That is about before reading. Now during reading, respond while reading. Responding means wherever you have questions to answer them. That is responding. And stop and model. In wherever you need to just stop and try to understand it, recapitulate the things what you read, and recapitulate and think, imagine the characters what you read, or imagine the points what you read. Try to do that and try to make the connections, and you ask and answer different questions as we already discussed. Make inferences and even draw conclusions. Okay, after reading, try to think and discuss. That is writing the summary. Retell key events what you covered in the book. All the key points what you covered in the book should be recalled. Identify main idea or the event covered in the book and ask open-ended questions. If questions are there, answer them. If no questions, you try to answer them on your own. Okay, so what is the book we selected now? About ecosystem. So when we suppose when we are going into the book, when like before reading, as I said you that we have to know the meaning of few words. So the different words what might be covered in the book are like flora and fauna. Flora means plants, fauna means animals. So what is the meaning of the word flora? Plants, and the meaning of the word fauna is animals. Okay. So we even get a new word called endemic. Endemic is a new word. You don't know the meaning of it. You don't know the definition of it. So you should know it. You should know the spelling of it. You should know the pronunciation of it, meaning of it and definition of it. So let us learn what is the meaning of the word endemic. Did you understand how to pronounce it first of all? Good. So let us now see the definition. An endemic species are defined as species that is native to where it is found and not found elsewhere. The meaning of the definition is, species means group of organisms which are present only in a particular area and not found anywhere else. Such kind of animals are called, or organisms are called, or plants are called endemic species. Okay, suppose you see what is there in the picture here. It is kangaroo. So kangaroo is endemic to Australia. It means that kangaroos are found only in Australia, mostly in Australia, not anywhere else. So kangaroo is endemic to Australia. In the same way, do you know kiwi? Kiwi is a bird. Do you know to which place kiwi is endemic? Kiwi is endemic to New Zealand. Kiwi is endemic to New Zealand. Kangaroo is endemic to Australia. So I think now you understood the word endemic, its pronunciation and all. Right, and definition also. Now what is the book we selected? It is about ecosystem. Do you all know the definition of the ecosystem? May or may not. If you know, you are going to recall your previous knowledge about ecosystem. If you don't know, you are going to know the definition of it and try to learn something of it before entering into the book. So let us see the definition of ecosystem. An ecosystem is a community of living organisms interacting with each other and their non-living environment. Okay. So ecosystem is nothing but it is a place where the organisms prefer to live. Living organisms prefer to live. Can the living organisms live without depending or interacting on the non-living environment? So here non-living environment includes air, water, soil, etc. Can we live, children? We are living things. Without interacting and depending on non-living things like air, water, soil, etc., sunlight and all, can we live there? Can we live in an area? Can we imagine our life without this non-living environment? We cannot. So, an ecosystem is a community of a living organisms which are interacting with each other. We are interacting with each other. We are depending on other living organisms. They are depending on us. At the same time, we need to interact even with the non-living things present around us. This system is known as ecosystem. So what makes up the ecosystem? Living things and non-living environment. Okay. So living things include plants, animals, microorganisms and all. And non-living things include sunlight, water, temperature, soil, etc. Okay. So did you get an idea what is meant by an ecosystem? Right. So now let us study this flow chart so that it will help us to understand the book what we selected in an easy way, in a better way. So like ecosystems flow chart, if you see here, ecosystem has two components, biotic components, abiotic components. So first you need to understand what is the meaning of the word biotic and what is the meaning of the word abiotic. Biotic means, bio means life. So living things come under biotic components. Abio means non-living. So abiotic components are non-living things. So biotic components are once again divided into three groups. See there. Producers, consumers, decomposers. So producers are nothing but the plants because they can prepare their own food and they produce food to all the other organisms present on the earth. So they are known as producers. And consumers are the organisms which consume food from others. Example, animals. And decomposers are the animals or the organisms or microorganisms which will help in decay or the decomposition of the dead parts of plants and animals. So what are producers, children? They are plants. What are consumers? Examples, animals. And what are decomposers? Microorganisms or other organisms which help in decomposing the dead parts of the plants and animals. Okay. Now consumers, that is animals, basing on the food what they are getting and from where they are getting, they are of three types once again. See there, primary consumers, secondary consumers and tertiary consumers. So did you understand about the three types of consumers? Primary consumers, secondary consumers and tertiary consumers. So primary consumers are nothing but the organisms or animals which depend upon plants. They are herbivorous animals. And secondary consumers are the animals which depend upon primary consumers. So they might be carnivores. Okay, carnivores are the animals which eat the other animals. And tertiary consumers are the animals which get food from secondary consumers. Okay, so consumers are of three types, primary consumers, secondary consumers and tertiary consumers. Okay, I'll give you one example here. Suppose you take a goat. So goat is an primary consumer. Okay, so give an example of the animal which eats goat. Yes, shall we take fox? Okay, so fox can be called as a secondary consumer. Now fox is eaten by some lion or tiger. So lion or tiger will be the tertiary consumer. Okay, so now let us see about the abiotic components of an ecosystem. So abiotic components are air, water, wind, soil, temperature and rainfall. So did you understand all these, children? Did you understand about biotic and abiotic components of the ecosystem? Right. Biotic components are the living things. Abiotic components are the non-living things. And what are the three types of biotic components? Producers, consumers, decomposers. And what are the different types of abiotic components? Air, water, soil, wind, temperature, rainfall, etc. Okay. So now, so this is one kind of ecosystem called Kooringa ecosystem. And even skin is also one kind of ecosystem. Desert is one kind of ecosystem. Okay, we can see these kind of organisms in the desert ecosystem. Okay, so now go through the homework what I am giving. We need to discuss about all these ecosystems in detail. That I'll cover in the next class. That is about Koringa ecosystem, skin ecosystem and desert ecosystem. And after that, if possible, we'll try to go to the next topic also. But before explaining different ecosystems like Koringa, desert, skin, forest ecosystem and all, I want you to read from the textbook. Okay, and try to